Oh no, it's the cops.
Oh, dang, Dom. What's up, player?
Oh,
Dude, how you living, man?
Good, bro.
Dude, those shades are fire.
See that last thing I sent you?
No? Where?
On Insta, they're talking about Metaverse land that you should buy at like 6 cents a pop. So I'm going to look at how...
Oh, like on Decentraland or Sandbox or any of those? Nice.
Oh, dude, it's crazy because I posted in my rugby group chat about this Ty Lopez thing.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, we're not doing that. What is this? This is stupid. And then I got asked by the coach, my rugby coach, hey, Malibu, I know you mean well, but a couple of the guys asked me not to have you post about crypto stuff or...
No way. Like, dude, I'm just trying to help you guys.
I know. Yeah.
Listen, I know how that goes. Yeah, it's like, dude, that's weird. Like, do you like being broke?
I'm like, so if we were walking down the street and I was like, oh, $50, you guys would fight over it.
Right.
But I'm giving you guys $1 million fucking investment idea.
Yeah.
And you guys are fucking telling me not to post stuff.
Yeah, dude. Good luck being broke, man.
So crazy, dude. And you know what? That $50 isn't even worth $50 anymore. It's worth like fucking $40. Like a $50 bill.
Oh, yeah.
It's worth shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, in fact, you're probably... most people are out there spending money on bullshit that will produce no return. And in fact, you'll forget about it in a short period of time. So it's like, dude, why don't you just throw the money in the toilet? They say, like, I can't remember who exactly said it, but he said, like, if you want to feel happy for a day, buy this. If you want to be happy for a month, buy a car. If you want to be happy for a year, buy a house, you know? Because eventually all of that, it wears off. And then it's just a car or a house. So it's like, oh, dude.
Did you see Grant Cardone's last big video post about... the house loans were created by banks, so they had something to lend you money so they could get paid back on. He's like, they created house loans.
How weird is that? Yes, it's made up. It's all made up. Like, who says that this square is your square? Like, dude, isn't that weird? Like, they made it all up. That's so weird to me that... Yeah, they made up a mortgage. So like, hey, this land, which is for everybody to use, like, we're going to section it off and, dude, and then you got to give us some money and this loan stuff. Weird. And people are just like, oh, okay, that must be how it works. Let's do it.
Yeah. When all reality, too... it's crazy to me because, like, once you dive into, like, the idea of marketing and advertisements, it's just mind control.
100%.
Every time I go to somebody's house and it's a fight of, like, the wife and the husband, like, you promised me the house of my dreams. This is the house of my dreams. And he's like, that's what you said about the last house.
No, you're good.
That's what you said about the last house. And it's like, and now she's like, well, you promised me the kitchen of my dreams.
You hear that a lot?
All the time, bro.
No way.
All the time. And all that is marketing and advertising controlling their mind.
Yeah. And then passing the manipulation down the road. Like, now the wife's using it on the husband even.
Yeah.
Dude, like, yeah, someone put that house of her dreams in her mind, and then homeboy promises it. Because we make promises.
We make promises. And she's holding him to it.
And that promise was probably made in bed.
That's a contract.
Oh, 100%.
Verbal contracts is a real contract.
Especially when you're married.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. That's reason 1005 why I've never been married.
I go to people's houses all the time where they cannot take a loan against their house for a refinance because they paid 50, 40, or even 60K above asking price just to get that house.
Oh yeah, and how
No
many people
money
are
in
doing
the-
that right now?
Dude, no
so
money-
if it falls, they're going to be out. It compounds. Like if they paid 50,000 over asking price, then it falls 50,000. You lost a net 100.
They can't even take out a loan, home improvement loan from a bank because
of
they're
course
so
not.
far in debt.
Right.
And they're trying to get a kitchen remodel with $25,000. That's all the money they have in their bank account.
In their bank account, not as a loan.
That's it. That's all they have.
So they actually have 25 grand in cash. Most people don't even have that.
And they're like, we want to remodel our kitchen. And I'm like, you can't remodel your kitchen for $25K. You're like 40 to 60K on a remodel.
Yeah, I
kitchen,
bet
right?
with things the way
And
they
I'm
are.
like, so now I'm like talking to them and they're like, do you have any way of like take like loan opportunities for us? And I'm like, yeah, of course.
Your credit's probably maxed out.
Yeah. But yeah, of course I have opportunities. Send it to them. Fucking, they hit me back and they're like, hey,
Denied.
they're like, hey, we got approved for 60K. Can we move forward with this kitchen remodel?
Oh, really?
Of course I'm going to sign them, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, these fucking people are maxed out. And I remember him even saying like, they live over, God, what is that area called? Over by Micron, Columbia Village.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember her saying, I remember him saying, well, that's what you said about your car. You got your dream car. You got your first dream house. Now we're on your second dream
Oh,
house. Now
he
you
talks back.
Dude,
he was a talker backer.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Right
wasn't
in front of
getting
me.
the nookie that night.
Yeah. And when I left,
Oh,
I get the text message, hey, we got approved for 60K. We would like to move forward on the kitchen.
oh man, dude, that's crazy.
When I went and got that contract signed, he wasn't there.
He wasn't.
She was there by herself. And she's like, I'm not even going to talk to him about this.
Oh man.
Well, I'm sure he knows that it's happening, right?
Yeah,
but like,
of course.
Like he's not for it.
He's not
right?
pumped.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I got to work this much more because the hole just got deeper. Dude, debt is a hole. It's a hole that you dig deeper with every dollar you spend on credit. It's like, dude. But let me ask you this. How bad was their kitchen?
Not even bad.
It could make it another 5 years?
It could make it another 20 years.
Oh, man.
Yeah. All their stuff is like all wood cabinets, but it's that other old color, like the white oak or whatever.
The one thing that was surprising is that it's only 100 people.
Oh,
that's gonna
I know the
employ.
answer to that. The reason they're moving here is because of the tax break.
Yeah.
And then also because of the cheap power. So it's basically
It's a giant powerhouse.
Yeah, it's going to be a server facility that basically 3/4 of that 960,000 square feet is going to be for mining. And,
Memory, man.
and-
It's going
and-
to take a
and-
lot of memory to support a metaverse.
Yeah. So they're basically building like land in the metaverse, and putting the servers here in CUNA,
Yeah.
so that they can hold that much information.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's crazy, huh?
It's so awesome.
What? Yeah, no, it's wild. I think, initially when we thought, I was thinking this is going to employ hundreds of thousands of people, but I don't know what effect it'll have on, I don't know what kind of effect that would have on our economy or the property values, so I don't know. Because if it doesn't create that many jobs, then it's just there, and then the taxpayers are supporting it. See, and that's kind of where it actually might have a negative.
Yeah, because there's not very. I heard you get. There's not very many employees.
100.
Yeah.
So it's only going to have.
Oh, that's not going to do anything to
it's
the
not going to do
economy.
anything. But what it will
Jobs,
do,
I mean.
Where's that money? How is that facilities? I mean, they're building their own infrastructure, so they're going to build a new water system out there and sewer system. That's great. And that'll benefit.
Private?
That'll probably benefit the whole area. And I bet you that's why. Is because I guarantee CUNA was like, all right, we'll give you a tax break, but we have a very large group of people who are moving here on a regular basis, and their water system is probably not up to par for what the growth is going to be regardless. So I'm assuming they're like, okay, you can come build out here. We'll give you tax breaks, but improve the water system and improve.
Of course, that's how it works. Yeah.
But still, where's that money still coming from? It's coming from those people in CUNA who live there.
Yeah.
So from the taxes.
They have to pay it first to then get paid back.
Well, here's another thing that I was thinking about too. Is it's going to take all of the resources in Idaho to build a facility like that.
Unless they bring it in.
Yeah.
The construction.
But they're meeting with the construction guys now.
Yeah, they're meeting with construction guys now.
Local companies, or
Yeah.
because even
So
a lot of companies here are
they're
subbed out.
The way that big projects like that work is they might use a company from out of state to do it, but out of state companies aren't bringing their employees here to build it. They're using subcontractors in the Treasure Valley.
Not all the time. I have a friend that works for a huge glass company, and he was living here for a year working on the Jump building.
Yeah.
And he was
They'll probably still
in.
have to bring people in. Regardless, it's we don't have labor unions, so I mean, it's why wouldn't they just be like,
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
yeah,
That's a
bring people
huge
in. They're gonna,
pain
most of
in
the
the
time,
ass.
Most of the time,
Yeah.
it's unionized groups that they're gonna have to deal with and all their shit. And
Right.
then a lot of times, those unions will be like, well, we're not gonna even allow these people to come out unless you give certain amount of promising things to all the other employees, all the other groups that are going to be working with them. So the non-union ability is massive here. So, but you're right, they're going to have to bring specialists in, and I think
especially and to get it done on time. I mean, even just.
I mean, there'll be design teams brought in from different countries because
for
big
sure
projects like that, like this place I'm working on in McCall right now, that's a couple $1 million. Like they brought all the windows in from a manufacturer in Germany, and like the all the lighting and stuff is from Amsterdam, and you know what I mean. Like all of this stuff is from different countries, and so you'll probably have the same thing on a project like this because. I mean, honestly, when you're spending that much money, a lot of that goes to design and, you know, making it look cool, right?
Oh, yeah.
All of those big tech companies, they put together the coolest projects ever. And it takes architects that use items from different countries and, you know, design people that are like, oh, yeah, you guys should see this carpet from Nepal or something that was made by Nepalian people. Every inch, you know, it took them a year to build it or whatever. And they're like, well, let's just cover 900 square feet of that in this one room, you know? And it's like, oh wow, every inch took them like 1,000,000 years to make that one rug, you know?
Well, if they're going to be using a lot of memory too, that's another reason why they needed more capacity for water. That's probably when they're
cooling for sure. Yeah.
Because I don't think there's no pollution associated with that, is there? With cooling like large, I don't know.
I don't think so, because it's just a matter of pumping the water through.
Cool, yeah,
and usually I don't know exactly how it works, but probably like heat sinks around the computers and the servers and stuff like that.
And I'm sure they'll have like, you know, filters to filter the water and reuse the water that they're currently.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine it really.
That's probably the thing, but if it's naturally cool, you know, just running through the air. But you know, we'll find out. That's wild.
I find it very interesting that it's just happening in Boise.
Yeah.
Like it's the perfect spot.
I mean, not only is it the perfect spot, but it's the simulation, man.
Yeah.
It's wild. Just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
Well, you're one of the simulation guys, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah. We're both simulation guys.
Okay, so we're in the Matrix now. Are we doing this now?
Doing what?
Like, are we on this podcast now, or are we just talking?
We're talking.
Okay. I was like, I did ayahuasca, like 2 weeks ago, and it gives me a clear point to like, I can't believe
it's not butter.
I can't believe that there's something that's feeding off of a simulation. I think so. It makes you, when you've done it, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like you see the moving parts, right? And you see
the code that makes up the simulation.
Yeah, and you know, but I don't feel like it's unnatural.
No, not at all.
It's unnatural, and I don't feel like there's anything that's trying to keep, you know, for instance, like the Matrix kind of idea, that whole concept where
us versus them.
Yeah. So I don't feel like that's there.
I don't either, actually. Yeah.
But I do see like it's all a bunch of moving parts, but it's also like one.
Dude, the perfection of it is so perfect that our minds could never grasp its perfection.
Right. Yeah. It's
That's why, like, when you take these and we kind of get to see beyond the veil of the Matrix, you're like, whoa.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
It's the craziest.
But
well, your body and your avatar aren't one.
No, not even a little bit.
Right.
You know, I figured that out though the first time I touched a dead person, like brain dead. So my brother shot himself in the head, and when they let me into the room, I touched his hand, and it was like you just knew he wasn't there. He was breathing, the machines were keeping him going, but he wasn't there. And at that moment I realized, I was like, there's such a thing as there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect between the physical thing and I guess one of the biggest things is when you're looking out, I think that like trees and all these things around us are for our enjoyment. I really do. I think a lot of it has to do with just it's like parts in play.
It's filler in the game.
Filler, and then when your soul leaves your body, it becomes filler.
Yes.
I think it's just back to the like that.
Or what are your thoughts on like reincarnation?
So I think that's absolution. Or absolute. I think that
it just makes perfect logical sense.
I think your energy keeps going, but I am confused on some things though. I think that I do believe that parts of the spirit can remain, and I think a lot of it can haunt. I think a lot of things stick around. So where your pure energy just doesn't go right back into the planet.
Right.
I think there's something
dissipates.
There's something there, and there's some correlation between what happens to your soul afterwards. That sometimes it gets stick around, sometimes it can immediately get absorbed back in, and then reinstituted. However, the master plan works, I guess.
Yes.
But
man, I'm right with you.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Like if someone that you love passes away, like a part of their essence or spirit is still in this reality, even in your memory.
Yeah.
So of course it doesn't just disappear.
Right.
But there is a part of that consciousness, let's call it, that it's like, all right, like to me, I see death as someone just pushing reset on the Nintendo, saying, for whatever reason, I'm done playing this game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just turn the game off and just go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And so then, like you're saying, a part of the energy stays here, but then they're like, whatever that next step might be for that individual,
right.
They go through that.
Right. And I kind of agree. And I am sorry if I came at you guys because I've met a few people who are like full on aliens are using us as life form, like I have been down that road too. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I don't feel that.
Yeah, I don't feel that either.
Yeah, I don't have that. But there's a lot of human beings that are very displaced, right? And I think that you're gonna
NPCs.
Well, because of the spread of information, anybody anywhere can make up any story, and then people believe it. Like the alien people or all this stuff. We're drinking babies' blood.
But also, you understand, like you've met people who just naturally feel displaced in this world, regardless. They just don't feel like they have a part here. I've met so many people like that, and a lot of them kill themselves. A lot of these people like end up dead, or they end up doing something like ending up in prison because they end up just lashing out. And just I guess working in a bar for so many years, people tell me every fucking
dang.
Right? And so and I feel like a lot of times that could be displaced energy or something.
Yes, well, it's energy without a focus.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you, is like those souls or those people that are displaced, like even in being displaced, there's a purpose in that, and that is to find some sort of purpose.
Maybe.
And just like I said with the game, like someone that's at that level of hopelessness, like no point in living, like they don't want to play the game of life. Yeah. So of course they're gonna, even to the point of taking their own life.
Right.
They're like, I don't want to play this game.
And to another thing is sometimes maybe you're giving the human soul more power than maybe it should have.
More value.
More value.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because sometimes I think that there's some people that are put on this planet to do awful things and or suffer incredible amounts of pain.
Well, evil's real.
But evil's real. But
I don't know. Obviously, you guys might not believe in a God or whatever. I am Christian, and I have seen real evil, right? And that's what made me believe in God even more, was seeing pure evil. And people, like, possession is real. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Whether you believe in, like, I know you're whatever, and I don't know what you believe in, but I do believe in the Christian faith, and I have, left my body and looked down. I have gone to the future. I have done all of these things, but really, I just love that Christianity is all about serving other people and like the grace and the love. But I do know that evil is real. Whatever you believe in, every religion and everybody believes that evil is real.
I've seen evil.
And really, everyone kind of agrees the devil, Satan, is Muslims, Jewish people, Hindus, like everyone has their own Satan, right? And he is real, dude.
Well,
I don't know.
so I mean, like, all right.
So I'm not. I don't claim to know anything.
Satan was new to the Christian religion. I mean, all right. So like, if you look at Old Testament, it mentions nothing of Satan, and a lot of it comes later.
He was a fallen angel.
Okay, so like in the history of Christianity, it goes back and like it's like, for instance, like hell, for instance, was one of those things was kind of made up later, right? In Christianity, it was like, oh, well, this is what we believe now. But in the beginning, when they were first choosing the what's going in the book, that wasn't really prevalent. But what Jesus' teachings a lot of the times is
the Bible is letters and documentation that people in the past either like Corinthians is all letters, right, from Paul, and Paul was a very wise guy, and some of these things aren't like visions or conversations he's had with God. It was just him on a different spiritual level than these other people.
It's the dictations of letters that people. Because Paul didn't write it.
Oh, because they were eating mushrooms. They were eating mushrooms and tripping balls, and then telling each other word of mouth around a campfire. Like, fuck, dude, I just left my body and met God.
I mean, there were letters from Paul to the Corinthians.
Yeah, but like I feel like there's a funny thing about evil. Is I know we all have a dark side. Every single one of us has it, and we've let it. Everybody's got a dark part. Everybody's got an evil part, but there is absolute evil. And, it's my brother-in-law. He's special forces. He's been deployed like 100 times. Like he's a bad boy, but like multiple conversations, she's talking about absolute evil. There's evil, and he's like I've seen it more than most human beings have ever seen.
Dang.
And he goes, and that's one of the things that drives him in his work.
Right.
Is he fully believes he's out to help reduce evil, help kill evil.
Right.
And but we've all have stories, but no, I couldn't agree with you any more than that. I mean, and that was another thing too. Is I've had my ups and downs of Christianity. I've had my, I educate myself. I spend a lot of time learning about religions and that was another thing that came about that journey. Is that for the very first time in my life, I see Jesus Christ as a big part of what was supposed to happen,
right,
in this system. Whether or not I believe the religious parts of it, like what men have created, but I do see what his journey, his teachings have been a huge cognitive part that was supposed to be put in there.
Right.
So either by a creator or by the system or whatever it happens to be. And I believe in that for the very first time in maybe a decade, as of last week. So
what?
It's kind of interesting. Yeah, no, kind of nuts. And it had nothing to do with anybody's preachings or anything. Of course. Just tapping into Mother Ayahuasca. Yeah,
yes.
No. And so it's funny is like my ears are probably going to be a lot more open to those kind of talks now, because in the past I'm like, look, I've read the books, I see the things, I don't have a connection with it. But as of last week, something changed.
Yeah, I mean, and I grew up in Salt Lake, so I grew up in a very black and white LDS culture. Yeah. And so for me, like I went, my parents are still super into the church, my whole family except for me. Mm-hmm. And so like for me, I was always doing what I was told to do. Like the Bible was written by a bunch of people. Actually, the King James Bible written in 1604, so 1600 years after these things happened, for a king that wanted it to be written so he could use that power over other people. Same thing with like the Book of Mormon. I mean, so for me, like when I
I first did.
The difference is they actually had all of these papers and all of these scribes and all of these letters from these people.
I mean, I could show you stuff that would disprove that.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's information out there to disprove a lot of things.
I guess for me, like, I'm the skeptical type of person that unless I experience it, I don't believe word of mouth or hearsay.
Yeah, but that's why they have what's called faith.
I know, and I'm not saying one's right or wrong. That's the biggest thing. Like for me, in like following the religious path, like it actually led me to almost suicide myself. And so it wasn't until I first smoked cannabis. When I first smoked cannabis, it was like a quantum leap in my consciousness because I was 25 years old.
Oh yeah,
I was 25. I'd never smoked weed in high school.
You're 25. You were fully indoctrinated into just.
Oh yeah, I had gone through the temple. I used to wear the jammies and stuff.
Yeah.
And so then after cannabis, like another friend said, "Hey, you should eat mushrooms." I was like, "Dude, cannabis changed my life. I'll eat mushrooms for sure."
Yeah.
And I had an experience with mushrooms that I experienced God. I didn't have to have a book or anybody tell me what God was. I experienced it. So like I've shook God's hand and said, "Nice to meet you." And so then like I can look at, be it the teaching of Jesus, Buddha, Abraham, Moses, and I can say, okay, what are they trying to teach? Mm-hmm. They're all just trying to teach, be a good person. Don't be a piece of shit. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can do that pretty easy. So then it's like, oh, okay, check off the box. And what I've always said to especially like my dad, because we have in the past got into some just great conversations. I'll say, listen, if you're right, when I'm dead, if there's some dude that's going to judge me, I'll say, hey man, I got nothing to be afraid of. I did the very best I could. I love my fellow brothers and sisters. I would never take advantage of anybody. I would never kill someone out of malice. So I was like, dude, I'm not afraid of whoever I meet when I die. And I have such a strong conviction that I know exactly what it's like to die. After ayahuasca, after mushrooms, like after this journey I've been on, like I feel like I have a pretty good idea what's going to happen anyway. So like the biggest thing for me is I would never tell someone that they're wrong for what they believe, because I don't know with absolute certainty. Guess what? No matter how strong your faith is, there isn't a single person that's ever lived that has died, gone to heaven, taken a selfie, and come back with some proof. To me, it's all hearsay.
Yeah.
And so I actually believe in all of them because they're all teaching, be a good person. Let's cooperate. We're all one. We're all on this.
And lead with love.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of, I don't know. It's funny with the, my mom died last week. And so.
Last week?
Yeah. And so I just got back from the funeral on Saturday. And, they were really like we were just Catholic, like just like, so the whole family's very Catholic, right? And so and then just the day before she died was when I had that journey. And so, but it's funny, it's like it really prepared me for everything. Like it was the best, weirdest, oddest timing. Everything was strange. But that being said, like, they wanted prayers and they wanted all this stuff, and I, like in the past I might have questioned some stuff because my mom really wasn't like, she didn't like the Catholic Church after all the children thing, right? So after that she was like, fuck dude, like I love Virgin Mary, I love Jesus, I love this. She goes, but the Catholic Church has been just like how they handled this is so wrong to her. And, and so she kind of considered herself, like a Christian pretty much after that. She's like, well, other than I love, Virgin Mary was her deal. So, but it was funny when they came to me, I'm like, absolutely, let's do it. Prayers. Which ones? Let's go.
Yeah, of course.
Like, and that the funeral turned out so strange. But my last conversations with her about religion were so like more open than anything. And it gives me understanding of how faith can change with people, but it could also change within the religion. The Christian religion's changed a lot. Totally. And what I think is going to eventually probably happen is a lot of these faiths, because we're all intermelding so much, a lot of these faiths are probably going to start sharing a lot of the same concepts and interweaving things as culture moves on. So I don't see, there'll be some separations, obviously. The Protestants, the Catholics always had fun. Yeah. And, But as we mold, 2,000 years from now, we're probably going to see a lot of similarities. But we will.
Dude, 2,000 years from now, I mean, I can't even imagine where humanity. I mean, it's got to be intergalactic travel,
right?
At that point, 2,000 years.
Yep.
Like, man, I love that stuff. Like thinking about the future. Like, oh my gosh.
A crazy thing to even think about is like, fuck 2,000 years. We're gonna be in crazy places in 10 or 15.
Oh yeah,
years.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, they're fucking they're using 3D printing to like teleport unliving products right now. So like they can send products from the Earth to space already that aren't living creatures. Like just think we're gonna be able to teleport. Like I basically think we're gonna be using NFTs to like send like ourselves like an email basically.
Right.
So like you can send an email to India right now in seconds.
Right.
I think that you'll be able to send your consciousness
Oh yeah.
to other places within seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and that's en route. Like planes, investing in planes right now is the worst idea anybody's ever had because they're going to be, I feel like they're going to be obsolete in like the next 15 years.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean for it to
or they'll be different than what
I think
we can
traveling
even
will
imagine.
be, because I mean to that point is, I mean I think within 15 years most airplanes, cars, vehicles will all be automated. There won't be pilots.
That leaves to be say that, like vacation. If you're gonna leave your body at home, your consciousness experience things, but will you feel the sand? Will you have it might be a little longer than 10 years from now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean
you're right. I mean you're right. I'm assuming 10 years from now there will be no in-person meetings anywhere outside of unless it's in your city. You know what I mean? Like so if you're within your employees and stuff, but man, like you'll be able to do business and perhaps put your body into another like an Android feature or something like that. Some kind of creature that'll avatar is what I'm assuming. Yeah, you're
showing up to a Zoom meeting in a Bored Ape. You're out. They're like, there's Bob.
Avatar, like a
yeah. You can scan yourself, but you would also be able to change any features that you want within the metaverse.
Yeah.
One thing I was thinking about the other day was just like these new chips, these Neuralink chips that are coming out. They're supposed to make you smarter, better looking, because really that's like you can only hold the certain...
Better looking?
Yeah. Huh. So you can only hold a certain amount of information in your brain right now, right? Just think if you could just download all the information that you need to learn about working out.
Yeah.
Like, and that's one thing that I've like really gotten a lot of dumps on lately. Like I've really been researching. I'm like, I've been working out since I was 13 or 14, right? In 8th grade or whatever, however old you are. And I never knew how to work out properly, but it's all available. Like all you do is watch YouTube videos.
Oh, yeah.
All you do is watch these videos and you can learn. Like I've never truly had like a good back workout until like a year ago. And I've been lifting weights forever and I built muscle, but I didn't do it very smartly, right? Like I was bad form. Just fucking crazy to think about.
Well,
but like you can in the future download that information.
Right. You don't have to watch the video.
Yeah. You don't even have to watch the video.
Yeah. Just like in the Matrix when Trinity wants to learn how to fly the helicopter.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Because I mean, so I've had this weird, again, like I've been thinking about simulation since 2010. So like I've been really on this and I've had some weird theories. And part of it is, not only is this a simulation, it's a holographic projection of your consciousness. And actually not only on the individual level, but also collectively. So what we're doing in this game, like have you ever guys seen, it's a video game and now it's an app on the phone where you start as a caveman and you build up this world and you go through the different timelines.
You're like Sid Meier's Civilizations.
Yes. We're playing that game right now.
Yeah.
So like think of like the iPhone 1. Okay, the iPhone 1 compared to the 13, like no one uses the iPhone 1. In fact, the hardware does not even support the software.
Right. Yeah. You can't make a phone call.
But also the phone, it is a physical manifestation of our inner potential. So like you were saying with sending an email to India, how is it? We think when we pick up the phone and make a phone call. I just had a meeting today with my friends in India, coincidentally.
I've had a couple of those guys add me on Instagram lately.
But not only that, but we think we're hearing through the phone. The phone is just allowing us to make this agreement in the simulation saying, hey, I'm going to have a telepathic communication, even a clair visual, whereas I hop on a Zoom call because we've all agreed to take our consciousness and focus at this time and place. I can be in Boise, Benet can be in India, and we think we're having a Zoom meeting, but it's really, we're having a non-physical experience that's projected in this physical reality that we live in. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen, I believe, because what I do is I just extrapolate everything out. So if I take the iPhone 1, I extrapolate that out 100 years. If I extrapolate computing power out 100 years using Moore's law, soon the computing power in your phone, and even 100 times more powerful, will be a nanobot that will be inside of you.
Yeah.
So what I think is going to happen within that 100 years is we will have this quantum shift in the collective consciousness where we realize, oh, I'm already playing in a metaverse. We have to first create it in the outside world to complete the cycle.
Yeah.
So we're creating this metaverse now, and what will happen is people will plug into that metaverse, and then they'll realize, oh, there's no difference.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything in this reality or this metaverse the same as in that other one.
It might actually help people control their thoughts and processes on how to get things done.
Yes.
I think so. I had this conversation with somebody a couple months ago about how, you know, that thing when you're trying to make a decision in your business and sometimes you're just getting like, I can't think, what do I do next? Mm-hmm. And then you're like, wait a minute. And you step back and you imagine what you're telling somebody else what to do. And you're like, oh, if this was this person asking me, I'd be like, oh, you just did this. I don't know why it's so hard to do it for myself. Because you attach your own emotions and self-image from that spot. And then followed back to that journey, it painted a picture of a video game for me. Like, you need to do your life like that. It's the same thing. You know, you're going to collect enough health. You're going to collect this.
Yes.
You know, and systematically conceive of each day like that.
Yes.
You know, and
have you seen Free Guy?
I'm about to. It's on my watch list.
Oh,
dude,
yeah, you gotta see it, dude.
It's so crazy.
That's
because,
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, because like I have chatted with people that have never done psychedelics or like, you know, have never, like, they basically like, oh, that's just a really cool movie. I'm like, what did you think about it?
Right.
And like, well, like they're playing a video game. And I'm like, yeah, we're playing a video game. That it's a representation of our lives, right? Like he goes up to her and he's like, she's like, well, you're a nobody. You're a level 0, right? You don't have any levels. And he's like, well, how do I level up? And she's like, I can't tell you that, but like you just need to go, once you reach 100 level or your 100th level, then come back and talk to me.
Right.
He goes outside and starts leveling up because he found cheat codes. He found these glasses that then let him see all the cheat codes and let him see
that
all
he was playing a game in the game.
Huh.
Oh, but we don't want to spoil it because, dude, it's
I gotta see it.
Especially
it's
now after doing ayahuasca. Like, oh yeah, it's gonna be. You'll be like, what the hell, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Got it. But,
dude,
but you start to see things for, you know, like different symbolism and stuff differently.
Yes.
You know, right?
Because the game speaks to us in
flags, everything. You know, so it's funny how everything walking out of that your focus is you realize there's more people who understand that than you're led on, you know?
Yes. I mean, because imagine I started on this journey in 2006. Like, dude, there was nobody. So, man, I'm looking back being like, fuck, dude, it's changed. Never. So I remember I had a trip because in my house in West Jordan, I had this crawl space, pitch black, but you could stand up in it.
Yeah.
We called it the dungeon. We'd party down there, all of our bongs and everything. So I would eat all these mushrooms and I would just go sit in the pitch black and see how far it would take me.
Yep.
Because I knew I was always going to come back.
Yeah.
So
if
one
you
time...
have a strong enough mind to be able to do that, you can. I mean, don't get wrong.
If it ever gets bad, it's all be over soon.
Right.
Like, and you just have to remember that, right?
over
Like,
and over again.
Right. Oh, yeah. You'd be like, oh my God, why did I do this? I'm never doing this again. 2 months later, it's like knocks on the door.
Yeah.
Want your belt? All right. Yeah, dude, it's so, I hate it. Because, like, especially like,
is it before midnight?
oh my God, what is time? What is time? God, dude. Oh. But I had this experience where, I mean, like full on ego death. Like I'm traveling other dimensions, and the next day I wake, and like the next day sober, I'm like, oh my gosh, like what did I just experience? Like, I gotta go tell my mom and dad. So I go over to their house, and I'm like, listen, guys, you gotta sit down.
Yeah.
Like, I ate a bunch of mushrooms last night. Shit got crazy. And my dad, like, now you're a schizophrenic. You need to go to a mental hospital. My mom was just like, whoa, you know, tell me more about that, you know? But back then, you know, not only did I feel like ostracized by my family, but never did I think my family would ever do this stuff.
Yeah.
So now, fast forward all these years later, we are investors in a cannabis company. Both my parents eat gummies probably before they go to church.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like the zeitgeist is changing, and how I see is, and you'll love this, is the game itself, the infrastructure is changing. So you ever seen Westworld?
Yeah.
Okay, the game itself is evolving from the Wild West to the future.
Yeah.
But right now we're going from the future to a level of the future our minds can't even understand because we've never seen anything like it. That's how great the shift will be. But what's happening is, as the game evolves, you must evolve with the game. Your belief systems of what reality is, all these constructs of the game that you have taken and believed, you must now look at them and say, man, does that really make sense anymore? Is that really the truth? Because at some point the game will be changing so rapidly that to believe in any of those old things, politics, fiat-based debt money, religions, those things are going to be, if you believe in that, even you'll be questioning yourself like, man, like I do kind of seem like an idiot that I still believe in this stuff, you know?
You know, but human beings are very stubborn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, hanging out with old people, they're just, like, it just depends. If you want to keep thriving, yes.
But I think that also, and that's what I feel like COVID is that evolution's going to speed up to the point where the vast majority of people that aren't willing to evolve are just going to get recycled. Like there will be something major that wipes off. Look at Earth and all of us 8 billion people as a living organism, and each being is a separate cell in that organism. Well, as that organism grows and evolves, the parts.
Snakes got to shed their skin.
Exactly.
But really, I mean, I was excited to get you on here because we haven't had anybody in real estate. And so moving forward,
cool.
How do we, like, what is your idea on, like, can you, and I don't even know this because I'm now purchasing land in Metaverse. There's no real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
What are you thinking of, or like, what are people doing to start being real estate agents in Metaverse? Like, is that something you've thought
and it's
about?
something I haven't looked into it yet, but I've been thinking about it because I started looking at what is that Sandbox? So I started looking at Sandbox and a couple of them, and I spent some time kind of looking at the prices and what's going on. I think it's interesting because there's so many ways you could develop these little squares of land. Like,
well, there's no regulation either.
No regulation.
So you could literally do whatever you wanted to.
Right. And if you create, it's the same thing as like you buy a building, you add some kind of characteristics to make income, whether it be washing machines or restaurant, whatever, and it turns positive. You sit around and you turn around, flip that, turn it out. And obviously the more development near that area is going to draw more traffic, and then
You're good, actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they actually told me in post, stop telling people that because the audio is good.
Okay.
Thanks, though, Doc.
Yeah.
So as you develop around it, it builds value, and so how that's monetized. Obviously, obviously there might be some kind of middleman area for that too in real estate. I mean, immediately I thought of that. I was like,
I think there will be realtors because there's already people like leasing out. Dude, I just watched this thing where in the metaverse they had some big industrial place that they were renting out for raves and stuff. So it's like, yeah, there's already, I mean, how you could be in the future, just put on your glasses, you know, pop some Molly, and you're in a freaking rave in your front room, you know, yeah.
Dude,
Oh
so
my God.
Porn Rocket coin that I've
I mean,
invested
dude,
in.
I wouldn't even want to walk down that path, dude. I mean, that's a...
Dude, so they're building a virtual reality porn place where you
just
can
a red light district.
Yeah, so you can go and watch other people have sex. You can go watch
Anything
porn.
you want.
Anything you want.
Dude,
if you want to go for
NFTs.
an orgy, whatever, you can do this in the metaverse. So I can't remember how much money they spent, but they spent a ton of money buying virtual reality land.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to start like selling that stuff. And honestly, I think I put like $200 into Porn Rocket or whatever. And I haven't looked at it lately, but eventually that's going to be worth like a ton.
I mean, yeah, that's a huge market.
Yeah.
Man, that's...
and they can't be the only ones that are thinking about it too. There's obviously you know,
think that
Pornhub and all the rest of those companies.
Oh, yeah, with potentially billions of dollars.
Yeah. But whoever's on top in that industry, of course, you know, the internet thrived because of porn. I mean,
Yes.
I mean, you know, that's,
great point. Of course, it's going to perpetuate it.
So whoever's in on that, it's brilliant.
Oh yeah, dang,
But
man.
you know, about the real estate, I mean, I think obviously these companies are coming out, and there's going to be more like it. And what's the funnest place, or where's the place that makes you the most money is going to be the winner. You know, they have that one company, I can't remember the name of it, but they basically just took the earth and they gridded out the earth, so you can own any part of the earth, right? So initially, I'm like, well, I want to own my own houses, so nobody else owns the property of my own houses, but you know, that's going to probably be a good concept, right? Because you already have initial draws to want to live in those places or own those places that you lived in,
right? Of course.
Or someplace you want to live. You want to own what's her face, Paris Hilton's house, right? So you can sit there and just purchase the lots there, and but you know, back to your point, especially leasing. You know, if somebody wanted to make money, there's got to be some kind of funnel. Right, so people will start creating these funnels. My company, if you have a product, a space you want to lease or sell, come to us. We just small. There's a fee for whatever we get you, and so eventually, you know,
because
it'll be no different.
Well, and there's a lot of people that don't know what they're doing, right? So if you're an expert in that field, or like you know how to purchase land, or you know how to do these things, because I get that text message all the time, like, "Hey, do you know how to buy land in the metaverse?" I'm like, yeah, it's going to cost you. Give me a call.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you know how to do that, I mean, there's your business in itself. Because,
of course,
I mean, that's what our business is in crypto, you know, consulting basically is like, dude, there's a ton of people out there that want to invest, but they have no idea how to even start.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. For, again, like those... like that demographic 55 and up, it's like, yeah, they see an opportunity, but man, there's that generation gap.
Massive.
Like trying to figure this out, whereas like to us maybe it's simple, but man, it can be like, oh my god. And then I'm like, it's copy and paste. It's a lot of copy and pasting, Bob. Get used to it. That's it, just copy and paste. I know it seems hard.
Oh man,
what do you think about, I mean, especially being the guy that you are, what do you think about Boise real estate market?
I think we're really insulated because there's a lot of things going on. I used to sell real estate before the crash, and what I saw when the crash happened, obviously there was a lot of factors going into that, was we had quite a bit of warning. You saw markets like Havasu or Las Vegas start to crash, right? And because those are people's secondary homes, they don't live there.
Of course.
Right? So they Airbnb them or whatever. But like, if all of a sudden the market starts to crash out of those, we're gonna have a really good heads up 6 months to a year. But we are still the way our economy is, the way our politics are, the way our nature is, the way people still are. We're always gonna have that that magnetism that's still bringing people.
It's very inviting.
Oh my God.
That's why people come.
And the quality of life.
Yes.
You know, like I've lived in Las Vegas. I've lived in California. And I came back both times. And I was like, all right, look, I could live here. I could visit those other cool, beautiful places that are warm all the time. Whatever. It's still, I love this place because it is what it is. And so I think it's still a very smart, I think it's very smart to think that this place's values are still going to climb. And I'm going to tell you, like, as of last week, we're seeing all these homes starting to get multiple offers again, like ridiculous amounts. And whereas a month ago it was the same thing. You know, you put an offer in, there might be one or two others, and now we're looking at some just normal $500,000 homes that are getting like 15, 20 offers at a time. So it's starting to climb again.
You don't see that as a problem though. And I saw your post earlier today is that the problem I've been seeing is that the average person is getting priced out of this market.
They are getting pushed out of the market, and it is a problem. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it. Of course. Because you look at Denver and you Salt Lake City, and the same thing happened to them. It's the same thing. People say, well, it's got to come down. It's got to come down. It's got to come down. I'm not going to buy because it's got to come down. I don't know what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, it just kept going up, and it's not coming down for a while. Now, those markets eventually has to plateau at some point, right? To where people who are coming in with their millions from California or Portland or Seattle are going to be like, too expensive. I'm going to Texas.
Right.
So I have this question for you because I do know, you know, obviously I'm in the same industry, but on the construction side, and I do hear people refinancing their houses and yada yada to you know, remodel their places.
Right.
But I was hearing like, you know, sub 2% interest rates forever. And now I hear, like, just heard the other day somebody locked in at like 4.25 or 4.15.
Last like a week or two ago, they jumped.
And I heard that they're going to go up. Yeah, I heard they're about to go up to like 5% in March.
Right. And so you're going to see the buying power go down. People aren't going to, you know, and that'll loosen things up. So we will see a slight slow, but I'm not sure. It's such a weird market, you know, like
there's a lot of cash offers.
There's a lot of cash offers. And so that's just going to hurt locals a lot more. You know, like I said, people have been riding that wave in other cities, and now they're cashing out, and they're coming with cash.
Well, I think, man, what you said that I really appreciate was I'm going to watch other markets, because you're right. The tsunami will hit other markets, secondary homes, vacation type destinations before it hits here. Because again, the problem I'm seeing is that income and jobs in Boise are not rising to match home prices.
The only thing that came up was we had that great revolution where, you know, people are going to disagree with me on this one too, but I watched all of my cook friends and a lot of my, you know, chefs, cooks, bouncers, all the people who had those little jobs that were, I don't want to say little jobs, I apologize. It's those positions to where they were kind of locked into a bubble where they're like, well, I've been here 4 years, I make $19.50 an hour, yada, yada. Well, then all the chefs, they quit, right? And then people started demanding more money. Well, now they're starting to get their money up.
Okay.
And all the restaurateurs are pissed, right? But that's change. It's just,
of course,
you know, they needed those people in, and they're like, all right, I'll offer you 20. All right, I'll offer you 25.
Right.
You know? So there was an increase. There was an increase in wages recently, but it's not. And we don't have the data yet overall to see how that really affected us yet, but we'll see it soon. But nationwide, we're still low. You know, your farmer, your grunt workers, everything is still not incredibly high.
Right.
And for what you could buy a house for right now.
My lowest paid employee is like 18 an hour, 19 an hour, you know, and that's like, he's fresh out of high school. You know, this is his first job. My first job, I made $5.62 an hour.
Yeah, me too.
And, and I got fired for breaking a sink.
Oh yeah,
in the bathroom.
That's a week's worth of work.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you
wages.
broke the sink?
You're
yeah,
out
it's a total
here,
accident.
bud.
Yeah. But I got fired for breaking a sink.
Oh man.
And like looking back on that, I'm like, gosh, this kid's fresh out of high school and he's making I think he makes like $19 an hour or something like that.
Yeah, but with inflation, it's, you know, like you used to pay me $400 on my paycheck and when I was 14 or whatever, and that's like, you know, I could get smokes and I could go gas and I could pay
Right.
some of that, you know, like now it's different though, because you didn't have, you know, so,
Yeah.
but but still $5 an hour I've been there, buddy. I feel you. What was your first job?
Taco Del Mar.
Mine was taco time.
Yeah. Dude, this
No.
this girl that I was like, I don't know, when I was like a younger kid, freshman, sophomore, I was like the sophomore guy that was hooking up with all the senior girls.
Yeah.
That like, they're like, if you don't tell anybody, like, we can keep doing this. And I was just like, it was free for all basically.
Yeah.
So I was like, not saying shit.
Yeah.
But this girl that was, I think a grade above or maybe 2 grades above, was the manager there. And she had a boyfriend, but she was like, you should come work here. And then, of course,
I don't have a boyfriend at work.
Yeah, that's how that sink got broke. And
Oh.
then she blamed it on me. And, I'll take the fall. What did I lose, like $100 a week or something like that?
Yeah.
Like working 20 hours a week. I didn't give a shit. But, yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh, that's cool, man. You know, actually, when you guys were talking about, you know, mortgage rates going up, I was just talking to a friend about this today, is that just wait until they start doing crypto-backed mortgages at 1%. Because right now, that's a big thing in crypto, is there's a lot of companies that are giving crypto-backed loans at very low interest rates. So like, let's say if I got $1 million worth of Bitcoin I'm sitting on, rather than cashing that out, I can use that as collateral, take a loan, and I mean, the rates are 1%.
I haven't heard anything about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that'll be huge. And it'll also, once these...
It's going to be a while.
Oh, no, there's already companies doing it.
Mortgages?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there was a house, I think last week or the week before, that sold as an NFT. There was a house years back that sold in Miami, straight up Bitcoin. Like, this stuff is happening fast.
Yeah.
And there's already, like, I've already done this strategy. I've used my crypto as collateral, taken out a loan, and then I just went back and bought more crypto.
Yeah.
The Edmarks are taking payment in crypto now.
Oh, yeah.
I think they take like 9 or 10 of the, most popular coins. But that's just going to spread like wildfire. I mean, I'll take, if you want to pay me in construction for crypto, I'll take payment on that,
But the crazy thing I'm talking about is that, remember, all dollar-backed loans are regulated by the Fed.
Right.
So once there comes along a system that undermines and renders it obsolete, shit's going to get loco. Yeah. Because if they can give out mortgages for 1% and the Fed's hands are tied at 5, 7, 10, 15% interest, it will cause it will be crazy.
You know, and it's funny with this system too, and I'm not an expert in finance or any of this, but like I mentioned my brother-in-law earlier, and one of his things was talking about, all right, he goes, now we've got new currency that's pushing against the dollar pretty much, right? It's and then we have China and Russia who are looking to do everything in their power to devalue the US dollar, right? He goes, unfortunately, I feel like this is going to cause a major issue when the euro becomes stronger than the dollar, and I think they're pushing for the euro, I think is what I read. And he goes, and then you've got the cryptocurrency pushing against the dollar. He goes, as a country, is this a good thing? And it's funny is because you get mixed signals, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, I think it is in some aspects, but on the other hand, on war aspects, on us not having the biggest stick aspect,
right?
Not being
right.
Like it can be very dangerous.
Oh, I mean, there's I don't know if you've heard of Ray Dalio. He manages huge hedge fund, but he wrote this book about cycles of power even. And so imagine, and Russia's doing this now, like imagine if Russia made crypto or Bitcoin specifically totally legal. Yeah. And so that's a way to undermine the dollar, period. Because all trade is done in dollars. Right. So if they went to then China and said, hey, we'll do deals with you for crypto, or they went to Iran, or they went to Saudi Arabia and they struck up deals, like not only is that a huge factor, but another factor is the dollar is mathematically eating itself alive. So it's mathematically certain that the dollar will crash.
Yeah.
Because it's mathematically impossible to maintain value in something that you're constantly producing more of.
Right.
It's built into the math.
Right.
So you have all these weird things that are kind of coming to a head, be it geopolitical turmoil, financial markets. I mean, be it real estate, stock.
This makes me wonder, what do you think will be the United States' reaction?
Honestly, what I think is going to happen is I think that the dollar's going to crash and the whole game is going to pause for a period of time. And it's going to be fucking crazy.
And crazy in a bad way.
No, crazy in a bad way only if you're not prepared. And I don't want to be like one of those weird, like, but I do. I have 2 years worth of food in my garage.
Yeah. And I mean, with people, I think you're absolutely right. There's preparedness, but I'm talking about on a different level. I'm talking about with our country. You know, right now, especially, you know, with China and Russia looking at us, you know, I feel like it's going to cause a big issue with us not having, because our policy, Democrat or Republican, has been, well, let's keep the biggest fucking stick on the board, right? Let's keep dumping money into our military, so we always have that big stick.
Right.
We are like, somebody fucks with us, we're okay. Let's go. But when that crashes, like, as individuals, as people, yeah, you can prepare yourself, you can do what you can to try to survive or evolve and move in the whatever you have to do to survive and make money and protect your family, right? But as a country, you know, is it all right, we dump the dollar and we go crypto, you know, and just accept it, or euro, or whatever has to be the strength, or do we sit there and try to build up the dollar again? It's funny. I wonder what's going to happen with that.
To be honest with you, this goes full circle to, I always go back to my faith in that everything is so perfect that it's unfolding perfect. So I don't have to really worry about what's going to happen. Like, I'm just looking at potentials. Like, hey, if shit really hits the fan, I got food. I've got a gun. I know how to take care of myself. If it doesn't, I'm invested here, here, and here. But at the end, my faith always brings me back to just let go. You have no control over how it does unfold. So just have faith that it's unfolding so perfectly. And the matrix is part of the matrix that we're living in now is it's trying to keep your consciousness focused on the world is getting worse. I believe it's only getting better.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I think and people think I'm crazy for thinking this, but I think that this problems with Russia and China are all fugazi. I think they get together and they're like, hey, we're losing power of the people.
Oh yeah, let's make up some stories.
Cold War
Yeah.
never happened. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
all of
it's
these
a story.
Right. And like, it even goes down to, I've even thought about this a lot. Think about with even like the Taliban and stuff, right? Afghanistan and Iraq. That was all fugazi. It was all fake, right? Well, some people think I'm crazy for thinking that, but like, they created this problem so that we thought that we needed them.
There's actually an ex-KGB. I mean, this seminar was done like back in the 70s where he talks about just that. What they discovered was it's just as easy to make up these stories and perpetuate them on the propaganda machine than it is to even have the missiles. So it's just as effective to tell everybody there's a Cold War, Russia's got missiles pointed at us, we got pointed over there, when really none of it was there. We can keep them in check, and because remember, they are all about control.
It's all control, yeah.
Yeah, and manipulation. So it's like you don't need the guns, you don't need missiles. You just need to. There's little fights and squabbles here and there, like
totally.
Ukraine, like this thing that's going on. They make you think it's happening down the street.
Yeah.
But really, it's like it is happening. Like and to the extent that it's happening, I actually have no idea.
Right.
But it's in a smaller part. It's like if they hold it over your head, like it's 2 seconds till they're gonna push the button, guys.
Yeah. Well, and on that aspect too, the media and the government are, you know, some say they're one and the same on the other thing, but man, they pay for clicks. I mean, that's it. If you're watching, they're happy. So
yeah, of course.
War's an easy drum to just keep
Well,
Right.
and the other thing too that I've thought very deeply about, because I have talked to people in China, right? And I've been like, dude, why are you guys acting so messed up towards us? And they're thinking the same thing, because China's telling them that we're making moves. Our country's telling us that they're making moves, right? And so that's what causes that fear. That's how do you get somebody to go to war for you? Tell them, hey, these guys are messing with us, right?
That's a million miles away.
Yeah. And all of these people are being told the same story.
Right.
But it's the same people directing those stories.
Right.
They all meet. They all go to world conferences. And we don't hear everything that's talked about, right? They're probably like, all right, who is going to cause the drama today to make everybody think that we
On a
need
golf course.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
exactly. And they're just playing chess with us, and we're just pawns, right?
Yeah.
And really, like when I talk to them, I'm like, hey, why are you guys acting so messed up towards us? And they're like, I don't know, why are you acting so messed up towards us? Right? Like, but that's really, we're all getting the same story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we think that we're way more free than China. We're not way more fucking free than China. You know what I mean?
Like, I've never lived there.
Yeah, well, exactly. But all I'm saying is like, all of them are pulling the same strings, telling us we have it way better than they do over there,
Right.
and we're getting the same story, right? But like, really, our realities are completely different,
Right.
right? Like, we live in a different world than them.
How do you know? What if we live in the same world? Like the environment's different. Like, yes, they think just like America, you know, everybody, I pledge my allegiance to the flag, you know, they're learning the same things. So their history was told that China's the best, always has been the best, always will be the best. America, same thing, have been the best since 1776, always will be.
Well, this is one thing I always think about because I've traveled everywhere. Have you ever seen a world map in different countries?
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's always different.
No, I haven't really.
Yeah, it's dude, and a lot of people don't think about this, but like if you go to like I was in Poland, right?
Yeah.
Russia land-wise is way bigger than the United States, but if you look at a map in the United States, America's
Of course. Yeah. See how thick the plot is?
Yeah.
Oh, they get you everywhere. At every turn, they're like, we got something over here, dude. Look at these. Let's change these fucking maps.
Yeah, dude, landmass wise, like Europe, some of those countries like Germany and France are massive.
Huge.
They're huge.
Yes, and
but
they make
on the world map,
shaped like a boot.
Yeah.
It's not big.
But yeah, you look at Europe.
Kick their ass.
Where's Europe on that map? It's right.
It's so tiny. But landmass wise, they're huge.
Yeah.
Like France in itself, like if you want to travel from one end of France to the other end, it's going to take you almost as long as it takes you to go from California to, Connecticut
that's not
or
true.
something.
It's an hour-long train ride to go anywhere in France. I've been there.
I know.
To go from France to like Amsterdam was like 3 hours.
It is pretty. It depends on where you're at.
I would say all of Europe is about the same size
Germany.
as America.
Germany's a big ass country.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and for travel one end to the other, it's going to take you like.
I mean, actually, France I think is bigger than Germany.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't like bet $1 on it, but.
This is on a video, boys.
Well,
yeah.
And
I
know.
I never
Well,
know.
and here's the deal, though: is
Do your
we have
research,
no true idea. Like we have no idea.
Well, the point being is that of course countries are going to, in every aspect, make themselves be the best.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what country. That's nationalism at its finest.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah, but I also I don't know if you guys have been to that Idaho Military Museum. But
I drive by it all the time. I just never actually stopped.
Dude, it's such a wonderful place to go into.
Is.
My grandpa used to volunteer there. But we just went in there this last weekend, and they actually have a map that was produced by the Nazis of Europe. And it's crazy to see, like, how different they saw.
Right.
Dude. And we think, like, it wasn't even that long ago. It was like 19,
Right.
you know, in the 40s that this was all happening. And the world that they saw and put onto a map was what
they were portraying anyway.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
It's way different than because you have on the map they have, you got Europe, you got Russia, and then you got like Northern Africa, right?
What do they say is the one that's the worst? I think they always make South America look small. Is it? or it's either Africa or South America, and in reality, it just massive.
Dude, Africa's huge.
Yeah.
Africa is huge.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's the same size as America, and it's like landmass wise, way bigger than America.
Dang, man, that's so crazy.
And I think the same thing.
How they get
even Brazil in itself, like from top to bottom or whatever. I heard something along those lines. It's like 6 or 7 states combined, but if you look at it on a map from the United States,
it's a little top.
Yeah, it's a little tiny little area. Gosh, it's all just crazy, right? But who knows what information? I mean,
and it's
really unless you're
in the information age, because we're seeing all that finally. Like, it's just that's why there's so much distrust, man. It's like, and it's so bad, and you got both sides of the political party pointing at each other,
right?
Going like, fake news, they're doing that, and it's just like we're all waking up to like, so everything was bullshit.
Yeah,
like everything in that book I read, every picture is bullshit, dude. From Columbus to how big the fucking state of Idaho is.
Right.
So I didn't vote for DT, and I voted for Joe Jorgensen and Gary Johnson both times because I'm a libertarian. But dude, one thing that I will say about DT is he woke a lot of people up about how corrupt, or even though I don't think he's a great person, he woke a lot of fucking people up and made them realize like, our fucking political system isn't dope.
I mean, that's what I get at. It's all perfect. Yeah. So like everything that needs to happen is happening at the most perfect time.
The chaos and the good.
Yes, the chaos has to happen to wake people up. Yeah. And the chaos is going to continue to get stronger and stronger because it's trying to stimulate people to wake up. It is all make-believe. It is all a lie. And that's okay that it's all a lie because it got us to where we are right here and now, and that's good. But now it's like, now people are waking up and looking, what do we need you for?
Right.
We don't need you for anything. You guys create more problems than solutions.
Right.
So in the future, it's just like, it's a matter of just letting go of the old. Or even more so is a new metaverse is being created, and it's moving so imagine this, it's growing as fast or faster as the old system's dying and decaying away. So as that one gets more and more powerful, more and more legitimate, the exodus out of the old one into the new one will be faster. It'll be incredible.
And we've talked about this on past episodes, but at some point they're just going to combine, right? Like you're going to wear a contact lens and be able to look at a Pokemon right in front of us. Like that was at the last summit that I watched. The creators of Pokemon Go said the metaverse in itself is a great thing, but the future isn't a metaverse. It's combining virtual reality,
both realities,
with regular reality.
Augmented,
yeah. And
I had fun with that. I really did. I acted like a little kid when that came out. I was going on dates and taking girls out with a damn Pokemon Go thing. And
that's awesome.
It was neat though. It was like downtown Boise at that time wasn't really thriving during the day, right? Like a lot of the businesses, like you would not see tons of people on the street. They would go to their bar or their restaurant. They'd all sit down, have their drinks or whatever. And then all of a sudden this pops off. Boom! You've got hundreds of people walking around with their they're frequenting the businesses. All these little restaurants are starting to open up a little bit earlier. They're like, dude, look at this is great. The bar industry was a little older, so you didn't see a big pop, but the streets were full, and it was neat. But it's being somebody who stood downtown and watched the atmosphere kind of grow and change throughout the years. I had an opportunity to kind of see that firsthand. It was kind of neat. But what you're saying, I see that happening absolution, like to the point where either the chip in your mind or contacts or just whatever it is, like that will be done. And especially since it's such a driving force of advertising. People will do anything in their fucking power to put their ads in your peripherals. Of
course.
Right?
My God, you're walking down the street freaking McDonald's, Nike.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And it's all
you have to pay to take them off.
It's location based too. So if you think about it, you're going to be, like if you're walking near a beach and all of a sudden sandals ads are starting to pop up, or board shorts, etc. So you have location based targeted marketing campaigns. There's going to be a push for that, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Man, hands down. And it's so effective. It's so much more effective than... again, everything only gets better. The iPhone 1 is not better than the iPhone 13.
Yeah.
So it always gets better. Everything will get better, you know?
Yeah,
Gosh.
I could even see in the real estate industry, Corey Barton homes, you're driving by a thing, and then all of a sudden you're seeing,
Oh,
you're
my
seeing, you're seeing
Lord.
how the house looks on the inside.
Yes.
You know, the chandeliers and everything. Yeah, it's coming.
That's
That's-
incredible.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my god.
And just you thinking of this, right? Like whether or not you produce this product, but like you're helping that energy to build those things for like those people. Because like us even talking about this stuff, if it's just an idea, somebody's idea that they're working on, like it's almost like it gives them helpful energy to build those products.
Dude, I'm with you. I mean, that's some woo-woo shit.
Yeah.
But I'm real down with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sending that right now. Like, hey, keep building the machine, because fuck the government, fuck those guys, dude. Let's keep on going, nerd guys. I love you so much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Ah, man. Well, hey, man, I think that's pretty good. I'll tell you, super excited to have you. I'll tell you, when I moved here in 2010, working on a sales floor, all those guys were always going out downtown. And I remember moving here, I had like no friends, and I started adding people on Facebook, and I was following you even on Facebook. And there's something about some people that you just know that guy's got it. The energy, like you're going somewhere, you're gonna kick ass. So it's been cool to watch your journey, man. You know, being in the nightlife industry, now transitioning to you and your lady crushing
Yeah, we're doing good.
the real estate
we're
game,
doing
dude.
good, man.
And just taking things you've learned, like even that video you had today talking about the market, just killed it.
Thank you.
So much great value, and just in a simple video, you know? So keep it up, man. That's badass.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And man, hope to have you on, because I could talk more about other stuff.
Yeah, man, I'm down. You know, I didn't really expect to come in here and start chirping up on religion and ayahuasca journeys and
Yeah.
We never planned
Yeah,
any of
dude, we
these.
just come to hang out.
I walk in, I'm like, we're going at this. This is
Yeah. No, honestly, I love that we don't ever plan these out, because I never know what's going to go, but I always like download so much information from all these conversations. And really, I think that's what our goal is to wake other people up. We're tired of waiting, like, oh, wake up. Now we just need to get it on the air, get it in front of people, so they go, oh, well, maybe these guys aren't so crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
Well, I don't think anything you guys said is crazy. You know, I'm really glad, because another thing too is like I saw one episode, you know, with but I didn't know if I was what I was really walking into.
Right.
But you guys are pretty like-minded, so I'm pretty happy I didn't have to sit here and defend my beliefs or anything like that. Like for the most part, like it's cool.
Nice.
It's but no, I appreciate you having me on, dude. It's cool. Like, yeah.
well, obviously, I love hanging out with you.
I fucking love you, man. You've been my boy.
How'd you guys meet, actually?
Downtown.
Downtown.
I work
Oh,
for
really?
them.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay.
How I met every.
Yeah, exactly.
So I started out bouncing. Well, I mean, I bounced on and off from like 2009 to 2013 or something like that, 2012. And so, you know, obviously, yeah, we worked for the same guy basically.
Nice. Okay.
And,
Yeah, because again, I would live vicariously, because I grew up in Salt Lake. So my big partying years, when I moved up here, I was 29, 30.
Yeah.
I wasn't partying. I don't like to go out and party. Dabble, yes, dabble. But man, I mean, if only we were partying back in my party days too. Like, that's why I could live vicariously and be like, fuck, dude, I miss partying, you know, like, oh, I miss that stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, dude, if I do dabble, the consequences are like dire.
Oh my god, it feels like cancer. It feels like I can't party anymore. No, I can't, man. I hung my skates up about 6 years ago, and I've been pretty sober pretty much.
Love it, man.
I don't drink alcohol for 6 years now.
Nice.
Coming up in June, it'll be 6 years. And no red meat either, though. That's been different. Yeah, that wasn't by choice though. That was honestly I got pancreatitis, so I got real sensitivity to that.
Yes.
But no, I don't wake up with hangovers. I don't.
Right.
But the last thing I did when I was drinking and partying, I don't know how you can hang, man.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it either. Yeah.
but me, I was starting to black out. I was getting like 3-day hangovers. I'm like, what?
Yes.
Oh God. But yeah.
I'm with you 100%, man. And also, it's so awesome and exciting to hear that you freaking got flushed down the toilet, dude, with the ayahuasca. Because that is, I think more and more, going back to, what's going to happen in 10 years. I mean, it's everybody will have done it at least once.
I think so. I don't know if I ever need to again.
I love hearing that.
I got all the answers I needed.
Right.
Well, and we talk about this all the time, but you're still trying to figure everything out, right? Like, and at some point it might come knocking again where you learned everything you needed to learn, and now like you're like, okay, maybe I could do this again, Yeah. Because I've had those trips where I'm like, oh shit, like,
yeah.
And it takes me months, maybe even a year before I'm like, okay, I'm ready to.
100%.
And honestly, yeah, and I have that feeling. I feel like right now, like, I understand everywhere I need to go. I know what to follow. I know how to control myself. Hell, I even dealt with my doctor. I knew there were some things I had to address, but you're right. It's all about need.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you need direction, that's where to turn now, instead of just guessing. Yeah. But no, I'm excited. This next turn in my life is it's very clear and very easy, and I understand it. My girls built a awesome, beautiful business, and what I've learned the most from that experience, and then from the recent passing of my mother, was time.
Yeah.
Time is a huge aspect that you hear it all the time. You hear that, time's the most important thing you have, yada, yada. But where you focus your energy and who you get to spend it with is so valuable. And a lot of my disease and things that I've had, it's all centralized here. And this right here is your core, right? And what I did for 15 years was crowds. I give my energy out. I'm constantly giving it out. And it came out of here, and it caused so much additional stress in my life. Mm-hmm. And now I've got a really I gotta really focus on where I'm putting my time and how. And a lot of it has been driven immediately to, luckily for me, my girl. So Liz Holiday, I got blessed with the opportunity to see it. And I'm like, all right, spend my time here. But also there's people like Kenny here who has been a friend of mine forever, and he's always had my back, and he's always checked in on me when he didn't have to. And so people like that, I got to make sure I focus time with them, or else I'm not dignifying their energy. And but no, just as recently, like, I learned how valuable it is. And with your mother passing, everybody has that. But you learn immediately, like, okay, this is, maybe you should have focused more energy or time here, and but anyway, I don't want to end on a sad note, but
one thing I will say that to brighten it up a little bit, because that was beautiful, was I think it's beautiful how much you have supported Liz through all of this. Because a lot of guys can't handle a successful partner, or like,
she's a killer.
Exactly. A lot of guys, they can't handle having somebody that's a killer like that, right? And they get stressed out, or they like separate themselves from that. And I really think that you've been a very like supportive role in like helping Liz build her business. And it, like, the way you've handled it and like been supportive of her has been like a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
And honestly, like, it's helped me, because I know Caitlin is a genius, dude. She is so smart, and I think she's been missing that supportive role her whole life of like, hey, just do whatever you need to do. But like, seeing you do that helped me with that and myself.
Nice.
It's definitely a beautiful thing to see that.
Cool. So I think, it was just natural with that. I don't know what it was, but I was like, she's brilliant. And, especially young people, they tend to, anybody in a new industry, mostly, you tend to just like, what's the word? It's not self-sabotage. What's the thing where you don't think you're good enough? What is that word? Is
imposter
syndrome, kind of, where you're sitting there like, I don't know. But if somebody's just pumping you, just like,
yes,
you are so good at this, you're brilliant. And then you pat their backs when they're good, but also guide, but it was just natural with that. And obviously we've got a really cool company. We're building all the structure right now to get new employees, to get people to work with us and create a bigger company and be able to help help the needs of this growing company. You know, we're to the point where now we're like, all right, can't just be the two of us. We got to get some people underneath us. We've got a lot of big things coming this year too. Some subdivisions are coming up. We've got
Subdivisions. Oh my God, man!
Like it's pretty rad, man. So we're I don't know. We're just working night and day to make it work. And
That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you, no one deserves it more, man.
Thank you.
Honestly,
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Man, great stuff.
All right.
All right. So just so you know, we recorded that the whole time.
I know.